you. Today I'm joined with 24th Thank You. And if you guys just wanted to introduce yourself individually and what you do in the band also.
I'm Emma. I write some of the songs and I sing on songs and I do synths and I produce stuff and I just add like the ambient vibes to a lot of stuff. That's my vibe.
My name's Ethan. I write, I play guitar mostly, and yeah, produce. Writing's probably my favorite part. I sing in some songs. Yeah.
My name's Scott. I play guitar and I produce a little bit.
My name's Michael. I play bass and I help with some of the logistic stuff with the band too.
hmm
These are numbers, man.
Okay, then how did all of you guys meet?
We all went to high school together actually. But they were all kind of friends. I wasn't super great friends with them. Um, and then we all ended up at the University of Iowa in Iowa City, which is where we all live, for college. And just kind of like through the friends that we like made here, like we had a lot of mutual friends and just like kind of got together and eventually like started making music. Like Ethan and I kind of linked up to make music. So we were both like, I don't know, just like depressed and like writing stuff. I don't know. I don't even like, yeah, we just kind of started hanging out, making music. And then Scott and Nick and Michael got on board and yeah.
I'd say that's true.
I met Scott in sixth grade. And then me and my friend Chase were like, he's really cool. We gotta like get like in his world. Like we gotta get in his circle. And so then we conspired to become friends with him and it worked via like a little bug juice date kind of. We were like, we should try bug juice again. Like remember that when we were kids? That's how I met Scott. I met Michael in high school because he was the new kid. He was like the sexy, hot, mysterious new kid that came in as like a junior.
Mm-hmm.
That was fun. And then I met Emma early in high school just because like we took
we met eighth grade year because
yeah.
we went to different middle schools, but we took Spanish. And do you take Spanish at Wash?
Yeah.
Do that? So we were in the same geometry class, I think.
Uh,
There was Algebra 2 with Miss Martin.
Algebra, yeah, Martin.
Yeah. Anyway.
Then we met musically in college.
Yes.
Like I didn't really do music shit until college.
Mhm.
I didn't know Emma wrote songs until college. Scott was always doing music shit. Michael was always doing music shit. Yeah.
Yeah, me and Michael were in like so many musical ensembles together.
So many.
I was
So
there
many.
too, bro. But y'all didn't fuck with me like that.
Me and Michael were on a
not say
different
bad words on this?
Like that.
Do
But
you
I
want to
remember
say bad
Michael.
words or not? Do you care about that on your
Can
podcast?
we,
What?
can we swear?
Yeah, it's fine.
I feel
But
loose
one thing about Michael,
Yeah,
one thing that
same.
Ethan touched on about Michael being like the mysterious hot guy. So I was like in choir with like I was in choir with like Michael and Scott and like all of my like friends, like I was like the like little baby, like, oh, she's so cute, like nobody ever like wants her situation. So I was like just there supporting all my hot friends, you know what I mean? And so like all of my like hot friends were like, oh my God, this new guy, Michael, like, blah, blah, blah. And I remember like when Mike came in, it was just like all the girlies were like trying to like smash Mike. And it was the like funniest. That was like the funniest in my life. And also, Michael, I don't know if you remember this, you sold me an Odd Future shirt. I
I
still have
don't remember that.
you sold me an Odd Future shirt and I still have it. It's yeah, it just has like the donut, like OF, like whatever.
I know the shirt,
Yeah,
but I
you
did not
sold,
know
you
I sold that
that
to you.
and
That's
I
really funny.
still have that.
That's
Yeah.
really funny.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's some 24 Thank You lore for you. Yeah.
And then like what got you guys into making music like individually?
Um, grew up with music. my dad always played music in the house, and I think he put me onto a lot of good stuff, and I just always thought it was something really important in life to just like be surrounded by music. That was it for me.
Yeah,
I think I just
was
did
like,
it because of friends.
yeah, I'm the same. Like, I always liked music, but like music didn't become like accessible to me, like making it in my mind until I saw one of our friends, Nano, play guitar. And then all of you guys started playing instruments and guitar, and I was like, oh shit, like that is an avenue that's open to me. And then after that, like it was a rabbit hole that I entered.
Yeah. My whole family did music. Like I grew up, my grandpa was like an orchestra conductor at like the University of Illinois, and my grandma was like a really great violinist, and they had me like on the grind when I was like 4, like playing piano and stuff, and like I joined choir, and so I was like really in the like classical side of things for or like just for a long time. And then when I got to like middle school and high school, I really got like once I got a Spotify account is when I was like, oh wait, there's like so much music out there to like listen to, like there's so much to explore. And so I just like really got into music and like writing, I think when I was in high school. Not to stay there. Yeah.
Yeah. My mom made me do piano.
Mhm.
And I have like distinct memories of being in like a really dark room and kind of like fearing a little bit.
Hearing?
Just that he was gonna be like mad at me for playing wrong. He would get mad.
Dude, yeah. My piano teacher was like, her husband was like a judge, like in Cedar Rapids, and like for some reason it was just like like it was at their house. Like my piano lessons were like at their house, and like I remember feeling like Mary, like my piano teacher, she was so sweet, but like the her husband when he would come home from work usually like during my practice time, and I was like there was no reason for me to be like terrified of him, but I always felt like I was doing something like illegal. Like he was gonna like put me like I was so scared of him because he was like a judge. And I was like terrified of him for no
Like
reason.
he was gonna catch you doing something and just be
Yeah,
like,
he was
oh,
gonna, like, and I was like 5. Like I don't know
convicted.
what I don't know why I felt that, but
It's a very
Ava,
valid feeling.
Ava and Ian Klopfenstein also took from that lady, and I that's the first time I met them, like Ava and Ian,
Oh,
when I was like
so you were in like the child prodigy piano circuit.
yeah, because my grandparents were like super well known in Cedar Rapids for their like playing and stuff.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and so for the music you put out in 24 Thank You, like where are some like inspirations that you guys draw from?
Everywhere, I think.
There's so many, which is
Yeah.
I'm sure is the same for like everybody. But sometimes I feel like specifically with us, we wear it on our sleeve. Like when we like it happens really fast, or like we find something we like, and then we might just make a song trying to like
Yeah.
capture those same emotions, and then it's done. For me, the biggest ones are Dijon,
Mhm.
Dijon, and like Dijon, like blues music. I like old blues guys, but mostly Dijon.
Dijon McGee.
McGee, Beach
Let's
House.
say, have you guys listened to the new McGee album?
No, I need to get into it, dude. I've been like saving it for a time where I can really sit down and like absorb all of it.
I finally listened to it, and it's pretty damn good.
Yeah, no, he played a show in New York like a couple months ago where he just played the entire album. And like there were like no openers, which I love. Sometimes,
Oh, that was awesome.
but
Yeah.
it's just like a one band bill, and it was
That's
really
how it was at the Dijon
Yeah.
show. They didn't have an opener. And I wonder if it's because like they just have a crazy ass setup.
Mhm.
Like they were
yeah,
like,
it was like kind of a crazy setup on stage.
yeah,
And there like were barely any lights either. It was just like, and Dijon was there too. It was like Mickey, Dijon, and then like 2 other people that were in the band. And they were just like sitting and playing instruments the whole time. It was fun.
That's fire.
that
I
sounds
think that's so dope that they liked each other enough from that tour that they were like, let's keep making projects and touring together. Because that was Dijon's tour, but they were like, let's stick together.
Michael, your blurred background is fucking killing me. Like,
Does it look like there's like a demon behind me right there?
yeah,
Yeah.
oh,
you look
The
like you're in
paralysis
like
demon.
like you're in like a sketch for like a Cartoon Network show. I don't know why. Like I don't know. Like,
That's just my clothes rack.
it's fire.
For us,
Um,
it's clothes rack.
for me, um, my influences like production wise come from like a lot of just like ambient and ethereal artists. I really like Aphex Twin and stuff, and then like um my production's nowhere like close to his, but like JPEG Mafia is like one of my favorite producers. I just like the way that he like flips shit and like I don't know, like he's just sick production wise and like lyrically I like to pull a lot from like the way that Adrian Blanker writes and
Yo,
like Faye Webster super sick. Yeah, that's kind of the vibe there. It's like a lot of like electronic music and like intense like whatever and then a lot of pretty little like folky sometimes country stuff too. Ethel Kane, my girl. Like that's the vibe for sure.
I think about Big Thief a lot when I
Mhm.
work on 24 Thank You.
So,
Uh, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of like a they have like kind of like sometimes their songs feel like defined, almost like an old wooden room. And sometimes just like as a general vibe, I just think of like an old wooden room sometimes when I think of their songs.
yeah.
And and I approach the 24 Thank You music sometimes with that same kind of like
Mhm.
feeling of like maybe like thin sorts of sounds and like I don't know. That was a really abstract comparison, but
no, it
uh
I
makes sense
get
to
you.
me.
Like when
I
I
think
think of
about
them
Big Thief a
recording, I think
lot.
of them sitting together like in like a wooden room with like a bunch of light coming in and they're like there's like this echo. I don't know. I get what you're
Yeah.
saying, body.
Yeah, they're like very raw.
Hmm.
Those are
They're
kind
very
of
in tune with each
correlated.
other too. Like they like just like Buck Meek, that's his name, I think, right?
Hmm.
Am I
I don't
tweaking?
know that guy.
Buck Meek and like Adrian Lanker, like both in Big Thief and they used to like um be together and they're like these videos of them like performing together and they're like on the mic and they're like so like in tune. They're like I feel like they're all just like they got like the Neuralink early. Like they are
Yeah.
like they're like linked up. They're like linked up, bro. Like they're
Yeah.
in sync.
I think me and my roommate were talking about that recently because
Mhm.
we were like, we need to bring back bands where the like the band members have dated or like some
Yeah.
Mm.
Where there's like some weird beat like it's like they used to date.
yeah, exactly. We were listening, we were watching like of course the Fleetwood Mac video and then we were watching like No Doubt, like Don't Speak,
I
like
was just gonna say, like, no doubt's coming back for
yeah.
Coachella.
So we were like, it's just so great when you like you can see the emotion behind like the songs that they're singing.
Totally. I think when there's like a shared like grief that's going on there, like it's like super lit. You know, they like are both like it's just like super like palpable. It's
Yeah.
fire.
Yeah, and then like from like the artists that you've guys said like you've drawn your inspiration from. I feel like you can definitely see that in your newer album because I feel like it's definitely different from your first EP and it's more, experimental and it draws like a lot from like the way like Big Thief lyrics are, but like the sound is a lot different. How did you guys like go about the process of creating everything I was burning slow?
Um, well, I think with our first EP, it was like a lot of like it was a lot of singles that we had released. Like three of them were like singles we had released, and then like our very first singles and stuff. And like then we had two more songs. We were like, okay, we'll just add this, like make this an EP. What it's just like a just to have it in like one place. And then like everything I was burning slow, we were like, this is like our first album. Like we have to put like it was the first we were like building an album really. And at the start of it, I think it was just a lot of like we had some songs, we didn't really know like where it was going fully, I think. And then we went through a pretty like just intense like winter last year, like emotionally. Like we lost one of our like friends, and like just everybody was kind of going through some shit, and we needed a place to like put a lot of our emotion, like our energy. And so we started like working on music and stuff. And there was one night that like Ethan showed me this song, like the beginnings of like the song Everything I Was Burning Slow. And I like had this idea for like an album once I like heard that, and I like went home and I like stayed up all night and like wrote like a whole like document, like a manifesto, basically just being like just like a whole thing about like what it could be, and then we kind of like went from there, I think. So
That
Like,
was dope. I felt like it was new to have like a straightforward direction
Mhm.
and like a very artistic direction when it came to music. For like me, I felt like I'd always just been kind of making music because I enjoyed making songs. What?
your fucking background is not Michael doing the fucking goddamn
hey,
dog, goddamn
this is an
dog.
audio podcast, no visual descriptions.
For the listeners, there's a picture of Michael
Doing
doing his karate forms.
what was it,
Taekwondo. Come
taekwondo?
on.
Excuse me.
Come on.
It's taekwondo.
But I like looking back on it now that it's been like a decent amount of time from actually making it. It kind of I can like look back on it and be a little bit of like a historian. Oh my gosh, I got.
Well,
Anyway,
I need to cover your fucking face.
Tope, can you fucking get rid of his screen?
Can you like mute him visually?
Yeah, I'll take it off. I'll take it off. I'll take it off.
Why is it
Individually.
Oh, God.
But I can like be a little bit of a historian on how it was made, and I try not to prescribe. Like I am typically like a magic hater, like when people are like, oh, like this is just a magical moment. But if I'm being real with myself, I actually do think there's an element of like we were not like, let's make an album until very near the end of the process of making an album. We were like simply just making music. And then we just made an album purely because that's like what just came out of us. We were not like, let's make an album. It was just like, we're making all these songs and we need to put them together. And like, we made a body of work very purely. There wasn't like,
I think we wanted to like make an album, but we didn't like know how really, or like how to like string it together. And then once like we had that moment with like Everything Was Burning Slow, and then I wrote that thing, it was like I was like, okay, this is how we string it together. And then
yes,
everybody just like
yeah.
was like, yep, this is what it is. And then we just like went for it.
From there on out, it happened pretty fast. Like
Mhm.
it was like two.
And it was a lot of like us listening to like an artist and then sending it to somebody and being like, yo, this is sick. Like I want to use like this from like pull from this for this song. Like for Noise, like that's when Ethan finally was opened up to the beauty of 100 gecs. Like, and he got into 100 gecs, and then like which was like a dream come true for me. And then we were like, let's do like auto-tune vocals, whatever. That's when we kind of got into auto-tune, I think. And then like for I Wash It Out, it's when like you got super into Quonic, and like you're like, I want to make a Quonic like vibe, and you sent it to me and I was like, no, we're putting this on the album. Like it was so fun just to like have a like we just were kind of carefree. We were like, here's like the structure for the album, like emotionally, or like here's the story maybe you want to tell. But like whenever we like felt like pulled to like in a certain direction, like sonically, we just like went there and did it. And then we're like, all right, it's on the album because we feel it. Like we're like
Yes.
this thing right now. It's gonna go on the album. There's no rhyme or reason other than like for putting something on the album other than like, do you feel connected to it? Does it express what you want to express? Yeah, okay, there it's on the album. So that was like really fun.
Ethan, I remember a conversation we had one evening when you were like, you showed me like the sound clip from like TikTok of those robots
Mhm.
that ended up being one of the
Oh,
interludes.
yeah.
Just we're like having a
Artificial
text chain
chickens.
back and forth, like iterating it. And like within an evening, that interlude like took shape.
Yeah, it was funny. Like you were literally just like downstairs, and I was just like create a version of the interlude, like the first interlude, create a version of it, send it to Mike, and Mike's like, "Oh, I think this," and like I could just go downstairs, or like he could come
Yeah,
up, and
we
we
were
were just
just
like
texting. I was in my
texting.
bed.
Yeah, I like look up to our past selves. Something I want to get back is like the carefreeness of being like, because like by the end, it was pretty fast and loose. Of just like, here's a song, like let's put it on there,
Mhm.
you know. And
Yeah.
like where I feel like right now I'm a lot more analytical and a lot more like quality driven, whatever the fuck that means. But
Yeah.
like back then, it was just so we got to a point where it's just like fast. It's like, do we like this? Yes, put it on. And in terms of finishing it, the finishing process was like still kind of not like terribly gruesome. Like there's a lot of details and stuff we had to go through, but for the most part, it was like, yeah, that's good enough. Like
Yeah.
I feel the song.
Well, it was interesting because like I think like when we were making the album, like we only had the EP out, and the only people that were listening to our songs were like people like in our community, like in Iowa City, you know, like or like our fucking families, whatever. And so like there wasn't this pressure to like do anything, you know, like nobody else was like listening to it. And then we like put out the album, and then now like it hasn't got a ton of attention, but it's gotten a lot more than we've like expected. You know, like it's reaching people that we don't know personally. And so like it's like weird how that kind of like changes your like mind. You're like, well, the next thing has to be like better. It has to like it like match the
Mhm.
quality. Like I'm thinking so much more about like the quality of it. And I like want to get back that like what you're saying, like that carefree, just like fuck it, like throw that on there. Doesn't matter. Because that's
Yeah.
like what made the album like good to me, I think, was like
Mhm.
that carefree nature that we had, where just like, okay, this is what we feel. So it just like goes on there. But yeah, it was an interesting process. We all just kind of like came up with something, would send it to each other, and then yeah, like people would just add shit to it, send it back and forth, and then it was on the album. It was fun.
Yeah, because I think a couple of your songs got added to like Spotify playlists and things like that. How do you think um like what was it like experiencing that and like having a lot more people listen to what you were making?
That was
We
so
have a
fun.
we have a band member, Nick, that like keeps us updated all the time. So it's kind of nice. He gets pumped up about it.
He'll like sit in the group chat. He'll be like, just check the stats. Like we're gonna like Spotify's slopping us today. Like we got like 3,000 listeners today. Like it's like so lit. But when we got playlisted, like it was so like for the first time, like with Nod when that got playlisted on
Mhm.
like Fresh Finds or whatever. Um, I actually was going, I did like delete voicemails yesterday because my voicemail box is full, and I downloaded one because I wanted to save it forever because Ethan left a voicemail because I was moving at the time. Um, like I was in the process of like moving out of my apartment, and he like so I didn't see his call, and he like left a voicemail. He was like, dude, like he's like, we got like Nod got playlisted, like whatever. He's like, we're free, like we're gonna get you health insurance, like we're gonna get you like we're gonna get you right, whatever. And it was like so sweet because it was just like super surreal. Like we didn't expect to like have people like in the industry like fuck with our stuff, you know?
Yeah.
That's what I think it was. It was like to have people in the industry actually like listen to our stuff was crazy.
And just like now, like the spread of people that can hear our music and the people
Hmm.
that message us, like these people from like the
Mhm.
Netherlands that love our music, and they're like, "You guys are our favorite band." I'm like, "What do you mean we're your favorite
Yeah,
band?
well, yeah,
Like, what do you mean by that?" Like, and they're serious, and
yeah.
like,
And they like ordered our merch, and like it's just surreal to like think that people are like that like first of all they could like listen to something that we made like in our bedrooms just like because we were going through it, and they could like listen to that and be like, oh, this like resonates with me, or like
mhm.
end up to the point like where I like want to like listen to this again and like reach out to these people and like like pay them for their merch is like crazy. Like I can't imagine. It's something that I would not have like imagined, like just at all. It's super sick though. It's so sweet.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Hmm.
Such fun little experiences. Like every single fan, like we got a fan in China, and you get like the fan in China moment where you're just like, what? And then you get the fan in the Netherlands moment.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to like more little moments like that.
Hmm.
And then you guys said that like the process for making this album was like pretty swift. Like how long did it like actually take to put everything together?
Okay, so like it was swift but not swift because it still took like 8 months like of like writing, but there was sort of like an initial like 4 months of like writing like a couple songs and not really like we were just making songs. And then I think after like in near December when Emma was like, let's make an album, or like we had like the vision for an album, then it kicked it into high gear and we finished it. I think we like pretty much finished it from like 2 months, 3 months from there, which is like still probably a really long time in terms of how other people make albums. I don't know. Cause I
We were
hear,
in school though. Like,
yeah.
we were
And like,
grinding.
we can't like go to do a studio for a month and have like our genius engineer make us like do all that shit for us. Yeah.
So probably like 8 months like total, but like from the conception of like the album, it's like the concept for the album itself, like it probably was like two or three from
Mhm.
there. Yeah.
And then like what was the idea behind the album cover?
I was living or like about to like move back to my parents' house, and I was like back there for a little bit and I was bored, and they had a scanner that like a printer with like a scanner on it, and I could like connect it to my phone. Like I had an app, whatever, and I was like, I'm just gonna start scanning my face. I don't know. I just like wanted to scan my face. So I did. And then I scanned it and then I sent it to them and I was like, is this cool? And then they're like, yeah. And then that was the album cover. And then like there's some other like for the noise like single cover,
Sure.
like, it's Ethan's face, and like time also is like my like I don't know anything about time is like my scanned face. But we had like one day where everybody came Cedar Rapids to my parents' house and we scanned everybody's faces and like scanned objects that were like cool.
We
So
met Emma's old ass cat.
sassy. Yeah.
Super old.
Yeah, you like took some videos of her, I think.
Yeah.
They're on Google
Sure.
Drive. Yeah. She's super old. She's like 17. She's lit.
Yeah, she's lit. She looks just so old.
I know.
Yeah.
She's like getting there. Um, she was like my like I begged like to get that cat, dude, when I was 7. Like I begged for so long to get that cat. She's my baby. Yeah. Anyway.
She's a sweetie.
I love
She's
this album. I'm looking at the cover right now. I love this album cover.
When I first saw
I was
that,
like,
I was like, this is the one.
Mhm.
at first I was not like this is the one. I was like, I don't know. And then like more and more I was just like, this album cover is like a mess. And it's like the album, it fits the album so well.
It just like looked iconic to me. Like it just like
Yeah.
looked like an album. Like sometimes I'll look at an album cover and I'll be like, um, I'll just be like, yeah, that's an album. Like I don't know, like
Mhm.
that's an album. And like to me, I like looked at that like picture and I was like, yeah, this is like an album cover, you know? Like it just made sense in my brain. And like I blinked. I remember like I accidentally blinked. I was trying to like keep my eye open while I was like scanning, and I like accidentally blinked and it created like a cool little like blip. I don't know, it just like seemed kind of like fitting, like the expression that I had in it. I was like, this is how like this album kind of feels, like really like
Yeah.
confused and like um just like scared a little bit. I don't know. Yeah.
And Mike, you were into like the iconic aspect of it.
Hmm.
I just think it hit. Like when I first saw it, I was like, this is it. It was just like an immediate gut feeling.
Mhm.
Hmm.
It was a really cool creative decision, I thought,
Lay.
with something like so simple.
Hmm.
Yeah, I
It'll
think
be interesting to approach art again. like cover art again.
True.
Yeah.
I haven't thought about it for like months. I don't even know how you go about that.
Yeah, I think the album cover is really cool. I've never seen anything like it.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
you
was,
kind of look like a mannequin.
I
You
know,
kind
bro.
of look
It's super strange.
like a doll or something.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
I think that it's cool to like just be like, okay, well, fuck, I don't have any like real equipment to like make anything. Like, I don't have money to pay a graphic designer. I don't have, it's like that's kind of what we do though. Like, we don't have the money to go to a stew, so we make our music in our rooms with like the shit that we have, and like for an album cover just to be like, well, I don't have anything but my like parents' like printer that has like a scanner on it. I'm gonna use this. Like, I think it's cool to just be like, use what you have and like see what you can make out of it that like reflects how you feel, and like that just like operating in that like space, just like using what you can to like make the best thing that you can is like kind of what we're like doing, so I think that it all kind of exists in the same space, like it, I don't know, I think it's kind of cool.
Yeah, I would rather make like my own, or I would rather like go and take pictures and try and find visuals ourselves than just go straight to hiring somebody, or like going to a studio rather than trying to find sounds ourselves. Um, that's where the fun is. Like I don't think that if people stopped listening to our music, I would still have fun
Same, dude. Yeah.
because we are just like hanging out and
Like,
exploring sounds on our computer.
It's fun to have those like because of the fact that we aren't professionals in that sense, like it's fun to see what those like creative constraints can do to like push us to make something interesting with like the limited resources we have, which is like how you end up getting an album cover like that.
Also just like the feeling of being like um just like being with your friends and like showing them something or like creating something together, and like it hits like that feeling like when you're like all together and like something's like hitting. It's just like that's like not something I think that we could like achieve with another person like recording for us or like producing for us or like in a separate space. Like doing it in our own like homes is super fun. And yeah, it like creates a really cool space, I think, for us, because I don't know, just like doing it together and having it only be us is like super special and super fun.
Studio time kind of scares me.
Totally.
Yeah.
I don't know how
That
people do
sounds-
it. I don't know how people do it. I could not pay to like, I would just be like so anxious about the fact that I was like paying for like an hour or two, like to like do something and being like recording vocals or something. I would just mess up every single time. Like I know I would, because I'd be so scared.
Mhm.
Like I don't know how people do that. Because I gotta like sit in my room and make sure nobody's in my house, and I gotta like test out like 7 different like plugins and like whatever, and like yeah.
It's like turning a recording into a performance.
Totally. Yeah. That's not my vibe.
Yeah. I think that's like common among a lot of this new generation of bedroom recording artists and producers and stuff. Like I was watching an interview with Jane Remover, the old hyperpop kids, and they were like, we went to a studio and then we were all really anxious, and then we like had the engineer leave, and then we like spent the rest of the time having fun because like we were alone and fucking around. And I feel like we're pretty similar. I like to spend a lot of time alone in my room so that I don't have to waste anybody else's time. There's like I can sit here for like 10 hours and make something that I think is interesting and iterate it.
Yeah.
And like,
I feel the same way.
Yep.
I don't get how people like, I mean, it probably just comes with a different level of letting go, where you just make, like, if you're in a studio and you only have an hour, 2 hours, you just like make the thing and that's the thing. But I would feel a loss because there's no iteration. It's like, I want to like iterate. I want to be like this idea versus this idea and take my time with it.
Totally. There's like a freedom in just like being alone and like only having like your time, like not anybody else's time like involved. And so it's like you can just do whatever the fuck you want and then bring it to people when you feel like it's ready,
Mhm.
And so
Yeah.
like I just, yeah, it's like super freeing just like be alone and then to like give to somebody else and they're also alone and then they like take that thing that you made and spend a lot of time on and like
Yeah.
you spend a lot of time on it and then it's like all like and then they pass it along and then it's like all these people have put in so much time but it was like really intentional and it was like really like when they were like alone and at their most like vulnerable and like the most themselves and like could kind of like do weird stuff that they wouldn't normally do because they were like didn't have these like
Totally.
inhibitions. They didn't have to like yeah. It's super
Yeah,
sick.
there's no inhibitions when you're doing it. Like in a way, I'm sure there's trade-offs, but it's like collaborating in a way where you just like send the song to somebody else and then now it's theirs and they add what they're gonna add.
Mhm.
Like it allows more freedom for like a true collaboration in a way, opposed to like a room dynamic where you're trying to build something up all at once together and a lot more ideas are gonna get shot down in the moment.
Mhm.
And it might lead to like more of a safe outcome than when you give it to somebody and you're like, add your weirdest sounds to this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think working alone like is more conducive to those moments where you think something's bad, but then you just keep going and you find something like it turns out to be something cool. I feel like that's happened so many times for me where I'll start and I'll be like, damn, this sounds like shit, but I'm just gonna keep going. And then it eventually sounds like pretty cool, I think.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah, I think there's like more freedom like when you are independent, you know, and don't have anyone like really having a say in like
Yeah.
what you're creating.
Yeah.
There's a guy trying to like help us managing for like a couple of days. And I was immediately like over it. Because he was like, you know, because like he's a manager, it's like manager like money, you know, and he was like, hey, you guys should make like a song with like a normal song structure. And just even just like that was enough for me to be like, all right, we're done.
No, I'm not doing that shit.
Independent
Keep that shit away from me. Keep that shit away from me.
Mike can manage us. You can figure out all the logistics.
Yeah. Mike's the heart.
Weird. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it also just depends on the type of manager you get because I feel like a lot of my friends are going through something similar, but they also like I mean it's easier when you have someone that's like I don't know how old this person is, but like younger or like has like the same vision that you have instead of someone that is just focused on like what has been working, like what the normal structure of like what works and like releasing stuff and like you should be putting out singles and then the album and then it's like not like really conducive to anything that like creatively if you wanted to do something different.
Totally.
Yeah.
It's important to find somebody that like knows exactly like what you're trying to do like at the heart of like when you're creating like what you are, like who you are as like an artist or a band. Like because then they can like push you in a way that like works for you and not like works for I don't know, works for them.
Yeah, like they actually know how to help us.
Yes.
Like do what we want to do and have fun. And they're not just like trying to help this like goal that we don't necessarily have.
That's a good point. Like helping or like push in the right way. It's like I'm gonna be pushed in the way that like I don't give a fuck about.
Yeah, I think it's
if
like
they're like pushing us to be really weird, it's like that's fun.
I think that we would need somebody that like to come in and like amplify like what we're already doing, like to amplify rather than to like come in and like change, you know? Like to I don't know.
Yeah, like to add the fucking amplify like mouth speaking emoji before.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. We need them to be like the fucking the bullhorn or whatever and not like
or whatever we say.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm too into metaphors. I'm like I gotta like back. I gotta like bring it back because like I like to do that like in a comedic sense a lot of the time, but I realize that I'm starting to do it like in a way that like a dude with like a finance podcast would do it like sometimes where you know what I mean? Like I gotta like reel it in for real.
Yeah. I'm kind of trying to learn more about you. How do you pronounce your first name? How do you pronounce your name?
Okay.
Tope?
Yeah.
Where are you from?
We already established that, Scott, by the way.
Yeah, I know. I
Yeah.
figured.
Yeah, I'm Tope. I'm from South Carolina, but I live in New York currently.
Gotcha.
In the city.
Yeah, I live in Brooklyn. So
Cool. You ever
Sweet.
seen our friend Quinn? Quinn Spivey.
You know Keegan.
Keegan
yeah, I
Carlson.
know Keegan.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet. Okay.
Yeah,
So you
I
know,
used,
wow.
I used to book shows, and I booked one of their shows.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Yeah, sweet.
The Brooklyn scene seems really cool.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of fun, and I think um there's like a lot of collaboration. I feel like in past episodes I've said that like there are different pockets in Brooklyn and like New York City, but like everyone's like interconnected and always collaborating.
Mm.
So it's like fun to go to shows here. Have you guys ever been or played in New York?
I went to New York when I was 16 with my mom.
Yeah, I went when I was younger, but never like as an adult. I should go.
Yeah, I feel like
Or like I need to go see, but yeah.
yeah, I feel like sometimes like when I think about like cities I've been to, I'm like I need to go as an adult to experience like if I actually
Totally.
Mhm.
Totally.
Mhm.
I think you like as a kid, like you'll go and it's like, okay, I've been there. Like just like but you didn't experience it like fully or like appreciate it. Like
Yeah.
so many places I've been like just I went to Wyoming like as a kid and I like it was sick when I was there. It was like cool, but I'm like now I'm like I would do anything to just like be at Yellowstone right now. Like I just want to like go see some mountains.
Mm.
That would like cure something in me. That would be like the cure for me. And like but now I'm like broke and my parents aren't gonna like take me to fucking Wyoming. So yeah.
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 The adult body yearns for the Yellowstone Mountains.
Literally, bro. That's
Um,
so serious. I'm like I need to see like a bear. I need to see a bear really bad.
I
And
saw
like
bears in Glacier. They were getting close to us too.
yeah,
They were
you guys,
beautiful.
what do you guys have like as defenses?
We had bear spray.
Okay.
Yeah. And yeah,
I
we
feel
had bear
like
spray
in the
in
moment
the
I would
car.
accidentally like spray myself with the brayer spray if
dude, I feel that way when I have pepper spray in my hand. Like if I'm like walking by myself like at night and I have like pepper spray, like I'll keep it in my hand if I'm like a little sussed out. And I'm like, I know damn well if like if something actually happened, I'd be so like flustered in the moment that I would like spray myself accidentally, like instead of them. Like I'm so
or
scared
like
of it.
there'll be like a wind and it'll like just come back in my face.
Yeah.
Mhm. A
Yeah.
strong wind. Yeah.
I do not feel like confident in my ability to like defend myself purely because I'm like, I I fumble everything. I fumble so much, like every situation. I'm always just like, I end up just like it comes back at me like tenfold. Like anyway, yeah. I'm a fumbler, chronic fumbler.
I don't know about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why I don't like have apps that are like I can't even remember what the name of it is. It's like, but it's like basically like one of those apps that tells you like where the crime is happening in the city. And I had it when I first moved here,
Mm.
but it just made me nervous. I'm like,
Because it's like everywhere.
I made one of those apps.
It just like makes you like, feel like you can't go outside.
yeah, I was like, the likelihood of something happening to me is not that high, so I should just not scare myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a fine line of being like aware like for your own safety and also just like being scared into like never leaving your house. I think probably. Yeah.
Yeah. So you guys are playing like a festival this summer? Are you guys excited? Is this your first festival or like you've played one before?
We
This is our
played
first.
one, but this
Okay,
is like
wait, no,
Not our first
technically,
festival.
technically not our first festival.
What do you mean
But-
technically? It's not.
yeah.
Yeah, true. Like, yeah, like actually, yeah, that's all right. But we
Except
played a
for
lot
Lost
earlier in the woods in Cedar Falls, and that was so cool. It's just like this friend group that put on. It's like an older friend group, so they're like well connected and have money, and they put on an awesome festival called the Lost Woods Festival. And then this is our first Iowa City festival, which I'm excited. I really hope we get to like. I'm trying to meet some of these people coming
Bro,
to town.
George Clanton and like
Mhm.
Armand Hammer, like Billy Woods is like one of my favorite rappers like of all no, and producers like of all time, and I cannot believe he's gonna be here. So like Billy Woods and George Clanton and Indigo D'Souza, I'm like I have to meet all
We
of
can
them.
intercept them.
And the OCs, bro. I'm excited.
Yeah. I think it's cool that like a bunch of cities now are just like having festivals. I like wonder like just like behind the scenes like how they all put this together.
Yeah.
They just like I think they like I know the people that are putting on this festival are like they have been like sneakily good at just like getting like cool people to come here. Like they had like Lucy Dacus here, like
Mhm.
for the last one, I think, right? And I think that like Haley Hendricks was here last
Yeah,
time. And who else? I don't know.
they nail the like demographic, kind of
Yeah.
like the Iowa City college indie demographic,
Mhm.
and like they bring in different like fringe players. Here, like George Clanton, like that's a great fringe get. Like Slaughter Beach Dog. The place that puts it on is a theater here called the Englert. That's like the main theater, and they always are good at like, even if it's not their theater, they'll bring in interesting acts and put them at other places around the city. So
Mhm.
like there's a Slaughter Beach Dog show.
And we got to open for them, which is
Yeah,
sick. They're
that
coming
was-
back to the James Theater in like April.
yeah.
Which is
I think
great.
it's like a solo too. Like it's just gonna be just him, maybe, like in a
Oh,
guitar,
yeah.
like the
Real.
main guy.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are there any other like Iowa City bands on here or just like you guys? Do you know
A
any?
lot of them, a lot of them are Iowa City bands, I think.
Oh.
But
Yeah, they have like a local day.
mhm.
They have like the big kids day with like the touring bands, and then we have like a
At the kids table.
we have the
That's
kids.
the table. Yeah. What is it, the kids? That's such a real example, Mike. That real comparison. That's so real.
I think like if you've played there 1 year, you can't play there the next year or something like that. Or is it for the next 5 years?
I think yeah, something like that.
I don't know, because Indigo D'Souza was here last year.
Oh,
I'm-
really?
I mean, it feels like that's rules probably for people like us.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so true. That's the kids'
Yeah.
table.
If they can get Billie Eilish, they're gonna do it 2 years in a row, probably.
Yeah.
Tope, you need to come to Iowa and come to Hinterland.
I'll figure out a way.
You gotta come, bro. It's gonna
Hinterland
be.
last year was
Pretty
awesome.
They got
Yeah.
Ethel Kane. I'm
That's
going.
this year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Bro, but all the tickets fucking sold out, so I'm gonna wait until I can I'm trying to do the volunteer thing so I get it for free.
Mm.
I'm gonna volunteer for my ticket.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. I
Mhm.
feel like Ethel Kane has blown up so big now.
I know, and it's kind of like making me sad a little bit. It's like one of those situations where it's like I can't actually say that because then I'll like seem annoying. Also, sorry if you hear shit outside. My roommate is playing guitar and there's construction going on, so
I don't
sorry.
even hear it.
I can't hear it.
Anything.
But it's one of those things that I don't want to like say because it's like it makes me like seem super annoying. But like Ethel Kane was like, that's my girl. Like I just like felt so attached to her for so long, and now I like see like the like mother is mothering like edits, and I'm just like I can't like I don't know. I'm just like so annoying in that regard of like specific artists, and like Ethel Kane is just one of those for me where I'm just like But
Yeah.
I'm
General
they
gatekeeper.
want.
I feel that way too, because especially like in New York, like then like the venues they play, I hate going to a big venue and
mhm.
they're like super huge and then it sells out like immediately. And then like it's like a bunch of bots like for
Yes.
the tour, like, I think she's
Like
coming Tuesday.
NPC like situation where it's and like people don't like I've been seeing stuff with like Mitski tours and like people are being so like they're like heckling her on stage and I'm like it's just like people that don't like fully give a shit about the music. It's like the TikTokification of like the music industry where people are like whatever and I just like don't want that to happen to my girl Ethel Kane. She's so special and like so cool and like she just is like so real. She's sick. I actually saw it. She added Dish Towel off of like our album to like her Daughters of the Chapel playlist like a while back. And it like I freaked the fuck out because that I like yeah, it was only on there for like a few days. But I like shit my pants. I was like, there's no way that Ethel Kane is like listen to this fucking song. Like
That means more than being playlisted, knowing that Ethel
that
Kane has
means
acknowledged.
I think more than anything that's ever happened to me. So yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's fine to be annoying about artists sometimes because I feel like it's like a loss sometimes.
Mhm. Literally, it's like you like if you form like a super strong like attachment to them and like their music and it like feels like so important to you, and then you see a bunch of people like kind of like bandwagoning a little bit, which is like a really pretentious thing to say. But like when that kind of happens though, it's like it just kind of feels like you're like losing this like
Yeah.
whole thing that you had, you know, even though like the music like means the same thing to you. It's just like it kind of felt like this little secret that you had that you got to like hold close to your heart and like this connection that you had. And then I don't know, it's such a strange like phenomenon to like have an artist that you like that was like pretty small for a while, like that you felt super connected to like blow up. Like it's a weird experience. I don't know. But I'm just pretentious and annoying, but it's chill.
Me.
No, yeah. I'm like a hater on the sidelines. Like I saw this thing like yesterday. It was like, I'm an ethical hater. And I was like, yeah, that's me. I'm an ethical hater. Like that's me deep down.
Dijon was on the Kanye album. That was kind of a dagger. That was like a slight dagger.
Yeah. And JPEG Mafia produced some shit on there and it broke my heart a little bit, but it's okay.
I think like what you feel is just like the loss of a community, like the smaller knit community. It's like you trust all these people, love the music,
Mm-hmm.
and then like when they blow up, like there's so much magic in just small groups, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And then once you get big, it can feel like a company, and it's like
Yeah.
I'm now part of the Dijon Comp Incorporated, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
just a little soldier with all the other soldiers.
Yeah. Well, with the Peggy thing, I was like kind of sad because like it was like super like conflicting because I'm on that Reddit grind low key. I just like I'm not a participator, I just am a viewer, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
And like there's a huge discourse about like Peggy um like producing some stuff for Kanye because like just yeah and like because he literally like on like Baby I'm Bleeding, which is actually a song that I added to the playlist for today. He's like promise I'll never go blonde like Kanye and like and it just like is such a strange thing to see like an artist like morph into like something different like as they like grow. Like it's just a strange thing. Like I don't know,
Did
man.
you say that he like
God.
talked about it for a sec where he was like, he's like, I'm sorry, but I wanted to do this for so long.
No, yeah,
Yeah,
he did post
that's
a
a
photo like about how he was like, I like Kanye has been one of my biggest inspirations for a long
yeah.
time. Like it has nothing to do with like my political or blah 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 association
Mhm.
or something like that. He posted something on his story like that.
And like he can do what he wants. Like it's not my business, but it's also just like it's weird when like you see an artist that like lyrically like they kind of like defend this thing like where they're like promise I'll never go blonde like Kanye and like um there's like one lyric where it's like uh something but you call yourself like a girl pusher, wow you ain't real, like I don't know, like talking about like domestic violence and stuff and then like is producing songs for Kanye where he's like comparing himself to like he's like I'm the like yay Kelly, I'm blah, blah, blah. Like it's just really strange to see like that there. Like and it's sad, it's kind of sad because I'm like, but also, yeah, whatever. But
Yeah,
yeah.
like my thing is like I feel like he should have just not said anything because it's like you can't get mad at people for talking about it because like literally
Exactly.
like you
Yeah.
can do the thing but you can't get mad
Yeah.
at
Well,
it.
like get your money, like get your money if you're gonna do that and like do your thing. But like the fact that he like, yeah, just like post that like picture with like the like Kanye and like the buzzer. I'm like, Sweatshirt too, like or whatever that band is. I don't know. Just like super interesting. But yeah, it's strange to see like the ways that like smaller artists are like interacting with like bigger artists now too. Like I feel like a lot of like smaller artists are like kind of coming up and like working with like bigger artists that they've like idolized. It's been interesting to just like see how those interactions go down, you know? It's weird.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like there's like a bunch of tours. Like, not, like I feel like Faye Webster is pretty big now, but like the collab with Lil Yachty, which honestly makes sense for Faye Webster. Like, it
She's from
does.
Atlanta. Yeah.
Yeah, she's from Atlanta. Like, I can't even remember like Awful Records like label, I think. Like, it makes total sense, but I'm also just like, no.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, she's like her collab's been like so cool though. Like she like her song with like Father and stuff, like
That's my favorite
like
song on like Atlanta
me.
Millionaires Club. Like,
Yeah, it's so good. And like she's dating like I love Danger Incorporated and like she's dating Booth Lord. And like that's like one of my favorite like little like duos. Like they just make super sick music and
yeah.
she's like so fire, but she is like starting to blow up for sure. Like
Yeah, and that's like we were talking
blow
about
up.
like, being pretentious because it's like I've seen like posts on TikTok and it's like what is Faye Webster doing with Lil Yachty or like with these I'm like
It's
you
like you
guys
don't
don't
know. You don't
know.
know or yeah. There
There we
is
go.
like it makes sense if you like look at like where she's from and like who she's been like around. She actually I think she went to middle school with Lil Yachty.
Mhm.
That's
And so
crazy.
it makes sense, dude. Like,
I didn't know that.
yeah.
You guys are gonna be like, I went to middle school with Lil Yachty
I'm
about
sorry
me.
that I went to middle school. Lil
Yeah, one day I'll be.
Scotty.
Mhm.
Scotty.
Mhm.
Lil
Uh,
Scotty.
So you grew up in South Carolina, is that what
yeah.
you said?
Mhm.
How long were you like did you grow up there for? Like your whole life?
I stayed there until I was 18 and then I went to college in Miami and then moved
Shit.
home
How
because I
was Miami?
graduated.
Was it like fun?
It was fun. Yeah, I think the music scene there is cool because
Yeah.
it's like a combination of like electronic music and they're like a small pocket of like indie music. Because like the thing about
Cool.
Miami is like it's easy for DJs and like other people to come to Miami because technically they just have to fly there.
Hmm.
But bands, it's a lot harder because most of the time they're driving. And so
Yeah.
out of all the places in Florida, they're like probably Tampa, Orlando, because like once you're at
Hmm.
the end of Florida, you'll have to drive all the way back out.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
That's
Yeah.
interesting. I never thought about that. But that
Yeah,
makes a lot of
a
sense.
lot of bands don't tour there. Like I remember when I was in college, I would have to like drive sometimes to shows that I wanted to go to. Um, and that's fun because you get to meet like a lot of people through that. Um, but yeah, and then I moved home because I graduated in 2020. And then I moved to New York in 21, I think. Yeah.
Gotcha.
That's a crazy time to be moving,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
especially to New York.
Yeah, I
Like,
just got lucky in the fact that I was like interning at a record label and like I wanted to move there for my last month because they said I could go in person. And then like I got another job as like I touched down in New York, which was
that's
cool.
awesome. That's so awesome.
So I just ended up getting lucky in that way. But yeah, it's been fun living here and just doing music stuff.
Yeah.
You
So
see
what do
crazy
you
stuff. Sorry.
like what do you sorry. So what do you do though? Like what's your like for your job or like what do you do?
I used to do booking for a venue, but
Mhm.
currently unemployed, looking for your next job. Yeah.
Yeah, it's rough out here, man. Like the not yeah, just like not knowing what to do job wise.
Where do you be applying for jobs in New York? Is there like a special New York job website that I don't know about?
Um, Not really, because like most of the jobs that I applied to, I think are music jobs. Um, I check like A2IM, which is like a website that posts music jobs, and then I check Roster, which posts music jobs. Um, yeah, and like because I live in New York, a lot of them are based in New York or LA, but I don't think I want to move to LA. So,
Yeah, we've
What's
thought about it. We've thought about going down there, taking over LA, but
yeah.
what's your reasoning behind that though? It's interesting to hear people's like reasonings between New York and LA.
Yeah, I just I don't know. I can't even like make like this is just an assumption that I'm making because I've never been to LA as an adult, like we were talking about earlier. I just feel like I like New York City more because I think it's it's like there's always something happening. Like I can always find something that I want to do. And I feel like LA, it's like there is like off hours, you know? And I don't know. I feel like a lot of the people I've talked to that do both like tend to like New York more.
I went to like I've been to both like New York and LA, but not as an adult, as we have said. But I do remember just like the like LA when I went kind of felt just like super like like it just like felt like kind of like fake. Like just like all the buildings, like it didn't feel like it felt super I don't even like know how to describe it, but like New York was like it just felt like so real. Like just like there was like a just like palpable feeling of like just like everything going on was like so real. Like everybody was so like invested in like what they were doing. I don't know. LA felt like super strange. I don't know. I feel like New York, if I were to like choose, I would definitely go to New York. It's like so seems sick for sure.
I want to visit so bad. Like I've never, the only big cities I've ever been to, pretty much every place I've ever been to, I'm like, meh, I don't
Mhm.
really like it that much. And I want to, but like people describe going to New York and being like, this is like, it's the real deal. Like you just feel it, you know? And I want to experience that. But I have my doubts.
Mhm.
I don't know if I'm a city guy.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah,
houses.
yeah, exactly. I feel like it's not for everyone. Like there have been some people that do like LA better.
Mhm.
Um, and like it's like just like the pros and cons of each. I feel like I will stay in New York for a while, but I don't know if I'd want to live here. Just because I have lived in a house before, and I'm
Mhm.
like, I would like to live in a house again rather than like stay in an apartment. Um,
Hmm.
but I
That's
don't
the
know.
cool thing
Who
about
knows?
being in a city is like um it's like just I don't know, it's so like residential, but also like there are cool things going on. It's like such a like middle of nowhere place. Like most people don't know about it, but there is like a cool scene and it's kind of fun just like have this little like place where people are like cool and like I don't know, like there are things going on, but also I can like rent a house and like, you know, not like be in such a congested place, you know?
It kind of feels like the void in a good way. Like sometimes it can be in a bad way, but lately
Yeah,
for me, I've kind of liked the void of
same.
like being in Iowa City.
Hmm.
So like,
Yeah.
what is the scene like there?
There are a lot of
A lot
a
of
lot
fun.
of DIY shows recently, like kind of like DIY like punk and like rock stuff going on. Um, there's kind of like a cool little like group of like producers like other than us, like Eli and like Sebastian and stuff. Like
Mhm.
this like group of guys that are doing some cool stuff and like um
what do they go by on like Spotify?
I think it's I think
Ghost
that
Star.
like Ghost Star is like the new like iteration of what was Marcel Bleach, I think. But
Yeah, yeah.
um but yeah, they're making cool stuff and then there's like some like indie bands and like folky things. There's like a group of um like Liv are like the girl that like does our merch. Um they're like doing They have a band now, it's called Daisy Glue, and it's kind of like shoegazy, which was super cool. I saw them live like a few weeks ago, and that was super cool. So there's kind of just like a lot of like cool little artists like popping up, just kind of like indie bands, shoegaze, like
Yep. We got our boys Keegan Consor and Ryan Raddick.
Keegan's
Yeah.
a New York artist.
Look them up.
Keegan left. Keegan gave
Keegan
up
left?
on us. So
We still claim Keegan.
yeah.
He's thinking because he got his start here for real.
He mentions Iowa in his Spotify bio. So
Mhm.
he can remain.
He'll
he
come
can
back.
be one of us.
He'll be
He'll
back.
be back. He will be back.
We better hope he's not back.
Everyone will be back.
But we got
Everyone's coming to Iowa City.
Isaiah Hester, the next Childish Gambino.
Yeah.
True.
Ryan Raddick.
Yeah.
I have a comparison, but he wouldn't like it. So
I know the exact comparison you're gonna make. I know it's
Yeah.
Machine Gun Kelly.
He's anti-pop. He's
anti-pop.
Anti-pop, I'd say.
Yeah.
he's a beast. He's a great producer.
So good.
Dude, if you want to have like a really good time, you should get like just like crazy high, like to the point you're kind of scared, and watch the Machine Gun Kelly documentary. It's like it'll have you tweak.
I'm gonna actually do that today
You should do it.
while I'm working on shit.
I think it's on Hulu. Like I literally like I thought that I was like it had the potential to put me in psychosis. I think it didn't, but like there was like a potential there, like to be alone, like watching that, like just like high as you can be. And then you start thinking that like that's like confirmation nothing is real. Like that is just like a confirmation nothing is real, because like the way that he like he's like there's some shots of him like outside of like his tour bus, and he'd be like my haters, like they don't want me to haters, they don't want to win. And then that like all these comments like would like pop up like on the screen for like YouTube, and it's like boo, like Machine Gun Kelly's music stinks, like just like those are things he's like
God.
and then he like turns there's like he like turns the camera, it's like drone shot, and he's like, dude, it's so fucking funny, like it is so good. Like if you want to get
I
laugh,
don't need a Machine Gun Kelly documentary.
we never needed it, but it's here, so just like take advantage of it and laugh, have a good giggle. It's on Hulu. If you want to laugh, like it's worth it.
Oh, one more thing about the Iowa City scene that I feel like should be noted, because people probably wouldn't associate Iowa with this, is there's like actually a really cool electronic music scene in the city. Like there's a collective of people that just
True.
is Iowa techno that goes hard. They throw cool raves. They know their stuff, and they have like humongous sound systems. And then in Iowa City specifically, there's some great DJs that consistently play and throw really fun raves.
Yeah.
Sethy.
Andreas goes as Morit.
Yep.
And Killian's pretty good. Julian Bear.
He's good. Yeah, I'm gonna make a prediction. I think in 10 years, Iowa City is gonna be bigger than Chicago.
That's likely. When you look at the numbers,
That's a really based claim, Scott.
In every sense, Scott.
In population.
Okay.
Not in anything else, just in population.
They're just
Just
gonna
in
be pumping
population.
those kids out.
Maybe.
I'm just calling it.
Okay. That's fire.
And so then the playlist that you had is called 24thankyou Rejuvenation Program. And then that's essentially about, I'm going to read the blurb that Ethan sent me.
what that is a not very good blurb.
I mean, you can like reiterate once I finish reading. Okay, so this is the premise of the playlist. It says, we learned that we are going to die and we need to create offspring and train them to become a new and better 24 thing. And so that you guys are going to add songs to like that sort of our like skills we wish we had in playing music. And then you can reiterate it if you want.
So we each approached it a little differently. Like I went purely like I like made categories. I was like, these are the skills that like if I could start as a child, I would just want to like go all in on. So I had like lyrics. And for like lyrics, I had like Adrian Lenker. For guitar, like lead guitar, I get Clark Jr. For auto tune, I had like Bareface, and then like I'm trying to look at it as like a one-to-one like hyper cloning situation. I know others did it differently.
I did mine from like a standpoint of like if I had a kid, what music am I raising them on to make them the most lit kid? Like
Yeah.
having this well-rounded like music, not well-rounded, I just guess just like if I wanted to like give my kid the music that I wish that I grew up on, this is what I would give them.
So that's a lot more wholesome.
Same.
Yeah.
That's a lot more wholesome, but like I'm going for like my kid is like breaking down under the anxiety and pressure, and he's
You're
like
gonna,
looking at like my urn or
you want to
like
live
from the
vicariously
wall.
through your kid, if you could.
What you said?
If you could live vicariously like through them and like give them the like inspo early on, like what you'd give them.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not even trying to live vicariously through them. Like they need to become me because I'm gonna die.
Okay.
And I
Assuming
wanted to feel that pressure, and I'd put like my ashes in a big painting. And then it's like, you know, like in the new Star Wars movies where Kylo Ren's like looking at Darth Vader's like burned ass mask, he's like, I will start what you finished.
yeah.
That's really what I'm envisioning.
I'll finish what you started.
I'll finish what you started. No, sure, I start what you finished. My bad. Yeah.
You're gonna dig that shit back up.
Yeah.
What about you, Michael and Scott?
That's Emma. Like I had the same mindset as Emma. I was just like, these are the songs I would give to like an alien if they cared about me and wondered what I listened to.
Mhm.
For mine, I think I leaned a little more towards Ethan's perspective of like picking songs that had like specific things about them that I thought were important, more so than like building taste, broadly speaking. So there's just like little things about each song that I thought, like I put a McGee song on there that I just thought like the tone of it sounds fantastic, and then just like pure vibes for the Men I Trust song I put on there. I don't know, there's just like little things.
Yeah. I had like a soul / like heart category for just like what is like the essence of like music to me. And for that I had like a Dan Reader song. I had like Havana Burning. Cause I'm like,
That's so gas, bro.
like this is like bare minimum. Like this is just like music stripped down, you know, to me. And then I like vocal perform, like I put like a Talk Down by Dijon for the vocal performance aspect. It's like, if you're going to capture like this energy vocally, oh, so good.
Mhm.
I put this song Motionless by Flathead Stanley on there, and I think he's maybe the most slept on artist that I know of. He's so good.
Quinn put you on to Flathead Stanley.
Yeah.
That song is so good. It is criminally underrated.
It's so like, I don't know, it's just such a great song. Like it's just it feels like it's just its own thing, and it's really well done and it's catchy, but nobody listens to it.
That's
pretty cool. Bummer. It's a great song.
That song is amazing.
I think I've heard of Flathead Stanley. I think I have like listened to the song People Watching before.
Oh, really?
That's crazy that you know Flathead Stanley is free. That's like Quinn, like our buddy Quinn found him on like an artist Discord. It was just like, hey, we're all artists. Like we're all smart artists. Like let's help each other out. And that's how he found Flathead Stanley.
That's so
Flathead
fun.
Stanley, if you're listening, you have fans.
Yep.
The grassroots fan base is growing. I put Mythological Beauty by Big Thief on there for lyrics. Like I was going through the lyrics one was like hard for me to think about like what's like lyrically you want to capture, because there's like different people who are good at it. Like I really like Japanese House's lyrics, but they're like, and Tame Impala's lyrics, but they're just like different, different lyrical vibes. But when I was reading Mythological Beauty last night, I was like, how is this possible?
Mhm.
They're so good.
Lyrics are insane. Always
They're
have.
so good. They're so potent and
Yeah.
like beautiful, but not on the nose. Like be able to like tell a story, because like that's a different type of songwriting. Like she's like telling a story basically, but doing it without being on the nose is so hard.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like without being like a Taylor Swift storytelling song kind of.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I just don't get it. She's like, she feels alien to me.
hmm
She was like born, I think she was like grown from the ground.
Yeah. No, she's lit. All
She
of
might
mine,
have been part of a rejuvenation program.
yeah, dude. All of mine were just like songs that I am like connected to and that I think would be cool to listen to as like a baby. Like have my parents like raise me on. Like like Orange Peeler, I think is one of the like coolest songs in terms of like where it goes. Like do the whole like I like it like takes you on this like journey, and then like lyrically it's so sick. Like the lyrics like the dirt was rotten but the fruit was rotten but the dirt was expensive. Like it's like in my head all the time. And there's like this moment where these like distorted guitars just like come in, and it's like it just like hits so hard. Like if I had that as a kid to like get down to, I'd be super super hype. And like Boards of Canada's fire, like the whole like music has the right to children is super sick. I thought that was like fitting also because it's all like sampling it all like samples Sesame Street. Like they sampled that for like every song on the album, and it's just like super sick. And then I don't know how to pronounce this song title, but it's by Ice Peak, and they're super sick. They're like Russian.
Yeah.
I'm curious what that song would do to a baby.
It would radicalize them because they're Ice Peak is like a couple that lives in Russia, and they make like anti-fascist like music, and like people get in trouble for like listening to their music there. Like they get like they have like shows that they like announce like an hour beforehand. Like people like show up and then like they get arrested for going and shit because like they are just like super lit. Anyway, they like live in like the middle of nowhere. There's like a cool like little like mini documentary about them on YouTube actually. And they're just like so sick, and their production's insane. The dude that like produces it just so fire. And then Birds by Death Grips is just I love Death Grips, and it's hard to pick one song. But Birds I think is lit because of the lore, because Robert Pattinson plays on that song. He plays guitar on that. And I feel like it'd be sick to just like instill this like Death Grips lore into my kids. Yeah. Bins by Solange. They just need to know Solange, I think.
Yeah.
You did not add Please Come Home. That's
Yeah.
Scott and I added the same song.
No way.
Yeah. I did him for like
Oh,
lead guitar playing.
Yeah. Damn, that's crazy. I didn't even notice that. Yeah, that solo is just so crazy.
It's so beautiful. It's like the most beautiful. His like playing is so raw and just so fucking good. So good. And that song is so beautiful. Gives me chills. I really would be interested to meet the Death Grips Ice Peak baby
Yeah.
that Emma is creating.
Yeah.
I feel like there was some excitement about Solange there that we cut off prematurely.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
But-
Yeah.
I just feel like my kids need to know, need to be like raised on some Solange, because she talks about things like she just like phrases things perfectly. I don't know. She's like perfect, and that's what I would like play if I was like I'd probably, if I was like making like breakfast in the morning, like on a weekend, and I was gonna like play an album, it'd be like probably When I Get Home. Like that would be one of them. And then Baby I'm Bleeding, because I'm trying to just have my kids get into music that sounds weird and then they still like it. I don't know. Like his production's insane on that. I think it's one of the best Peggy songs, so they're gonna know that for sure. and so good at being in trouble because Unknown Mortal Orchestra bangs.
Mhm.
And
I love that album.
like the progressions in that are all so sick, and like just the way that just makes music in general is just like super cool. And he's kind of like a does things on his own kind of person, it seems like, for a lot of his stuff, and like I respect that. So yeah, it's gonna be a lit baby for sure. Death Grips. Yeah, it's gonna be a lit little baby.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
Ethan, like, what made you choose like the Alabama Shake Sound and Color song?
That was another lyrics. I had like another category of just like ether creation. Like a lot of like the music I like is just has a really cool like space to it. I mean, she could be like that song could be like vocal performance and lyrics and ether creation because it's so good.
Yeah, I
But
used to
I'm
be
thinking
obsessed with
lyrically, you're
Alabama.
obsessed with Lemon Shakes. They're so good.
And then they
Brittany,
have a song and like Big Little Lies. I think This Feeling was in there. Like the show with Reese Witherspoon.
oh,
Shailene
Oh, I've been
Woodley.
meaning to see that. I've been
It's really good. First season is really good. Second season is like unnecessary, really. But
I got you.
if you don't have time to waste, just watch the first season and it could end like that.
Totally. Got you.
heard.
I got to get my HBO Max back. I ended it after Succession ended, but I should get it back because there are a lot of shows to watch on there.
Actually, HBO Max is a pretty quality streaming service,
It is. I should just get back on it.
in my humble opinion. But
What did you guys think of the Succession ending? If you watched.
Oh, shit.
Wait,
Have
Scott, have you
no
seen it?
spoilies, no spoilies.
Yes, I have. Have you guys?
Has everybody
I
seen
have,
it?
yeah.
Yeah.
I have. Okay, then we're
Shit
chilling.
was crazy.
I just mean like for potential listeners, or I guess maybe like if you want to avoid spoilers, stop listening.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
I was honestly like satisfied with it. I think it was like the way that it like deserved to end. I'm glad that like I'm honestly pretty like I'm not I think that Tom, like I'm just like happy for bro. Like I don't know, like I'm happy for bro, even though like I low-key sneaky hate him, like I love him. I don't know. And then Kendall, I feel like I'm not even gonna get into it. Anyway, I was happy with the way it ended. I'm satisfied.
Wait, when did it end?
Jesus Christ.
Scott,
When did it end?
What do you mean when it end?
Like, did it just end?
No, like maybe happy.
in the summer, I think.
Oh, are we talking about when the dad died on a plane?
No.
No. No.
There's so much that happens after that, Scott.
Oh, y'all just spoiled it for me though.
I didn't say shit. I didn't say
You
shit.
said spoilers.
I just said that I was like happy for Tom, and that, you know, I said something about Kendall and then nothing really other than that. So
I think
You guys can talk about it. I'm gonna listen to music for like the next 20 seconds.
okay.
I thought you finished it.
No,
No.
he didn't even start it.
Okay.
He hopped into it.
Whatever.
He was
He
watching.
lied, so
Yeah.
he's lost his privileges to be like spared from the spoilers. He's a liar. But I will say the funeral scene with fucking Roman like breaking down. There was an edit on TikTok of like it was like a Roman Roy edit to Need To by Pinegrove. And bro, I like it like I watch it sometimes when I'm like on my period and I want to cry. Like I like literally did that yesterday. I watched it because I like love Roman so much. That's my boy. Anyway.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Roman's my boy.
And Roman's your boy. Yeah. I think it was the perfect ending in the sense that the whole show you're like, oh, which of the three kids is gonna win? And then it's like, oh, fuck you, none of them win.
Yeah, I like, that's what I think that like, yeah, it's just like they're competing for this thing. They're like they're like all such assholes, and it's just like, it's
They don't deserve it.
satisfying that they like
None of them deserve it.
Yeah, they don't deserve it. And like Tom Wambsgans fucking comes up from like just coming from the Midwest and just like comes up and like snatches that shit, and like Shiv having to like then just be like, okay, I'm like now I have to like decide if I want to
Stay with
like
him.
stay with this man, like so that I can have just like some little sliver of like what I've like been striving for years and years and years, or do I go do my own like yeah.
Are
And
y'all
she,
done talking about Succession?
Nope.
no, no, we're
All
talking
right,
about
I'll give y'all another 20
Well, also
more seconds.
the director, like in a behind the scenes thing after the last episode, was like how the final scene just shows like Kendall walking away and like looking just like obviously distressed and like kind of bummed out. He's like, yeah, I feel like in the future Kendall maybe goes on to like found some sort of business, but like it will never be anything in significance compared to the company, like the family company. And so he's just like he had his one shot
yeah.
of like, and he
Bro,
faked it.
that the fucking office scene, dude, like the where they're like in the meeting and like they all go to like the like conference room, and he's like they're like, I'm the eldest boy, like that scene, bro. I'm the eldest boy. Like I cannot like that entire scene was just like so insane. I was watching it, dude. I was like watching it with some of my friends like the day that it dropped, and then like one dude like Tony like he was just like sitting there. He had not seen like any of Succession, and he was like high as fuck, and he was like, wait, so what? So what? And I was like, shut up. I was like, bro, you need to shut up. Shut your fucking mouth. Like I need to watch this. It was stressing me out like so much.
Oh,
That was
yeah.
like the most intense moment.
And when they would go into the conference room and they were basically like, Kendall, you can't have it because like you don't have any children that are like your children. And I was like,
That shit was insane.
That was crazy. That was so bogus.
yeah, I was
Dude,
like,
that whole thing, and then like, oh God. And like then like bringing up the fact that he's like killed someone, and like
yeah,
bringing that shit up, and like it was insane. Just like all of the shit that had happened, like these moments that it felt like throughout the season, like the little tiny moments where they would like have these like bits of bonding, like
Yeah.
over like a situation that was like that brought like great turmoil, like that was all brought up and like used against, they like used that all like against each other, like in that moment it felt like. So it was just like so intense and so like so crazy, because you just like saw like all of them just like breaking down, being like they have not, like none of them have wanted anything other than this job, to be like to like have the company, and it's just like they're all just like pieces of shit, and you just see it so clearly like in that moment, just like stripped back how
yeah. And
like
it's like
crazy.
they could never win because like the way that their dad raised them, like just to pit them against each other, like they can never be like a united front.
100%. Yeah,
Scott is grinding right now.
Are you guys done talking about Succession?
we can
Yeah,
be, we
he's
can
done.
be.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're gonna have to put like a fat, like you're gonna have to like edit the podcast and be like, okay, you have to skip to like 10
Mhm.
minutes ahead now.
Yeah.
You don't want Succession to
We just
be over.
went in for
Yeah,
real.
sessions.
I could talk Succession for like hours.
Yeah, same.
I need to rewatch the whole thing. Like, cause I watched it like as the seasons like came out, you know? Like I watched like the first two because I didn't see it when the first season came out, but then like the rest of them, like I watched them like only as they came out. And then like, yeah.
Yeah, no, me and my roommate, like we binged watched the entire thing to catch up.
Yeah.
Same.
And we caught up literally like the last week because it was just like, I don't know,
Mhm.
sometimes Succession is too long. Like I'm like, I need a breather from this.
Yeah.
Totally.
Like once I got caught up, I was like, this is so like
Shut the hell up.
Okay, so do you guys have any like last things that you want to plug or anything like that?
You can buy our merch. And
true.
Not really anymore, Loki.
Are we out?
okay.
For
Well,
like only for like a couple more days.
okay. So use
DM
my
us so you can buy the merch.
DM us if
Yeah,
you
DM
want.
us. DM us.
Oh,
There's
true.
demand, we can reprint. So if you want merch, let us know. We can maybe get some more reprints going. And then we'll have music in the near future potentially, but I'm not gonna lock that down or anything because we're free.
We're so free.
So free, and we're not locked down to anything, and it'll come out when it's ready.
It's just
And
it's marinating.
it is marinating. But yeah, stream our album still. Um,
I'm gonna shout out the Tippy College Business. I'm graduating there in May.
he's getting his master's. Shout out.
Big early congrats.
Proud of you, Scott.
Yeah. And shout out to Tope for having us because this was super lit.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And like thanks for letting us yap. Like I could yap all day. So yeah.
All right, yeah, thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was nice to meet you.